Hey there, Cancer. Welcome to your reading for the week of December 19th. We're going to jump right in here, Cancer, and we are going to we're doing a Celtic cross, and we are going to just see what is going on for you. In your current general energies, the center card, you have the Ace of Swords. I'll show you in just a minute, but you could be having some sort of victory, or you could be also just completing a cycle, which actually makes sense with the Ace of Swords and the World. The World is your crossing energy. The crossing energy can be like what hurts you or helps you. So I, just based off of this reading here, I do feel like you are ending a cycle. So I would say that the World is more kind of like what's helping you at this time. It's like you're ending a cycle, or maybe you've seen the truth. Although what I think is really funny, and this is the after tarot that I'm using here, and you know what's really funny is that this bird, you see it has the blinders on. So maybe there was a truth that has been exposed that you didn't want to see, or something to that effect, and then I feel like you've seen it. So I feel maybe in the past you didn't want to see a truth, but now you have seen the truth of a matter, and that could be what's ending this cycle. I do also feel that there could be a victory coming in for you in, in some sort of new beginning that you're having, especially for those of you that are getting a new job or are moving. If you're doing one of those things, like moving to a different job, or even getting a new position, it could be the same job, could be starting a business. You have 3 knights here, but what's interesting is it's popping into my head as something new that you're starting. So, there you go. Could be a relationship as well. You also have this World. Again, the World is your crossing energy, and the World really says we have to bring something to a conclusion sometimes. The World does represent an achievement. The interesting thing is that I am getting the feelings, or intuitively I do feel that this is an achievement, and some of you might not see it as an achievement. You might be seeing it as like a breakup, or you might be seeing it as having to start over or whatever. And really, I feel like your guides or your ancestors want you to know that you're achieving something great, and maybe you just don't kind of see all the benefits that you're going to get just yet. In the area of your thoughts, you have the Three of Wands. I actually really like this because the Three of Wands is a card of expansion, and it's also a card of growth, and it's a card of leadership as well, and taking the lead. So I really feel that for some of you that you're kind of getting a bird's eye view here of things that are going on in your life. There are normally 3 ships here. There are 3 ships on this card, actually. I see them now. There's a million ways to look at him. Number one, we could say that this guy, he needs to get on those boats. That's one way to read the Three of Wands, is that he needs to go on an adventure. He needs to see an opportunity that's in front of him. The actual traditional story of the Three of Wands is that he's looking at that water in front of him, but it looks like it's golden in color. So it looks like the desert. And the story is that he's looking at what he thinks is the desert, and then he sees the boats. He's looking at something, the desert, there's no opportunity. He's looking at something where he thinks there's no opportunity, but there's actually a big opportunity. The boats, for him to go somewhere, right? But really, there's another way to read it where he is like surveying those boats. He is like the harbor master. He is telling those boats where to go. And I kind of feel that your thoughts are in control in your life, but control in a good way. It's like you're taking control of the things that you can control, and this is leading to like leadership opportunities or success in your life. In your foundation, you have the Knight of Swords. Knight of Swords can be like a rushing energy. I do feel like you are kind of maybe, hoping to create some stability here in your life. You have the Knight of Pentacles in your future feelings. So in the area of your future feelings, it's like you're hoping to become more stable, but maybe you're just not sure like what action to take at this time. We're going to go through this, and we're going to clarify it, and we'll see what we get. In your past, this is the energy that you're moving past. You have the Two of Cups. I do feel some of you could be moving past a stepping stone soulmate. So a stepping stone soulmate usually shows up in our life before we actually meet our true soulmate, or whatever you want to call it. I don't really get involved in the titles. I think we just need to find a good person who's willing to put in the work, and it's just that simple. Who cares if they're twin flame, blue flame, red flame, yellow flame? I don't give what, right? I just want someone who puts in the work, and I think that's what you want too. So that's what I'd be focused on here with the Two of Cups. And But the two cups in the past, I feel you maybe had a stepping stone soulmate. Stepping stone soulmates are people who come into our life and they remind us of ourselves, really, from the past. Usually, a stepping stone soulmate, this is how you know what they are, is they come into your life and they're dealing with like a problem or an issue that you had like 5 years ago or 10 years ago. So they remind us of something. And that's usually why we find a deep connection with these stepping stone soulmates, is because we're like, oh, they're just like us. But really, maybe they're just brought into our lives to remind us of the time that we went through. And in your very near future, you have the Six of Swords. So it looks to me like you're moving on from something. You could be, again, moving on from a stepping stone soulmate. For others, I feel like you're just doing something differently. Again, the whole point of the Two of Cups is that those two people are meant to look very different. So I feel for some of you, again, you could be entering into a very different situation. This woman and the child that are normally on the Six of Swords, they're leaving everything behind them from their life. They're not bringing anything but the clothing on their back. So they're completely starting over. And I feel that even in work for some of you, or your career or your business, you could be starting from scratch, or you could be starting from the very beginning on something. And if you are, I feel like it's going to lead to a lot of stability in your life, is what this looks like to me. Next, in the next few months, over the next few months, you have the Four of Swords. Makes perfect sense to me. I mean, we have all these retrogrades going on right now for the next few months. I mean, we really don't leave the retrograde energy until like March. So, for a lot of you, you could just be taking some time to heal. I feel like some of you could be hoping and praying for some blessings as well. There's a person right here who is blessing another person in this window. So I feel for some of you, it's like you're hoping and praying to receive some blessings. This could be from like people or whatever. Kind of like intuitively, I feel some of you are hoping and praying for love, a love situation to enter into your life. It's like there's a person here, right here. It is showing up on this card as a woman, but it could be any gender that you're interested in, whatever. And I feel like someone could be coming in with like a very pure offer in the near future. This person, I feel, has gone through like a recent transformation themselves, or a major change in a lot of ways. I feel like literally, if you're wondering like how will I know who this person is, I feel like they're very different. Two of Cups, again, even though that's showing up in your past, I also feel this new person is like very different. I feel like they stand out in some way. They're just not like a normal person in the best way possible. I feel they're the way they communicate, I feel like the way they carry themselves, I feel like they're just different, and I can't even describe it, but I literally feel when you see this person, you will be like, this person is very different than what I'm used to. This person carries themselves in a different way. And again, I think it has to do with some sort of transformation. It's popping into my head like a carefree type of energy that I'm getting here as well. I feel like they're very carefree. Like they don't care about anything, but in a good way. Not like they don't care, but as in they just like nothing gets to them. And that's like the type of person I'm getting for you here. Next, in the area of your closest relationships, you have the Ten of Swords. I definitely feel some of you could be ending a certain relationship in your life. Again, probably this stepping stone soulmate type of connection. But I feel like people are encouraging you to kind of like do things like get up, get out, get moving, all that other stuff. So I would focus, I am getting here on this Ten of Swords, that you need to focus on your actual close relationships, like your friends, your family, the people that really matter in your life. That's what I'd be focusing on here. I also think like even your relationships to your pets, like maybe you have pets that, that bring you comfort and things like that. Any of those types of relationships that you can be nurturing at this time, I feel like it'll help you, especially if you're in like Ten of Swords energy. Some of you are, some of you aren't. I really don't feel this is like all of you, this type of energy, but if you are, I feel like anything you can do to like heal from it or get out of it would be a really good idea. Next, in the area of your future feelings, you have the Knight of Pentacles. Again, it's like you want stability, but maybe you're kind of like not exactly sure how to create more stability. I actually feel pretty good about this. I mean, this is the After Tarot, and this Knight of Pentacles actually is moving. The horse's leg is finally up. In traditional tarot, the Rider-Waite, he's not moving, and he's the only knight that represents no movement. Technically, all the knights represent movement. Technically, all the knights represent fire. Even though that you have the Knight of Swords, air, you have this one, earth, but they all represent fire energy because they all represent movement. Even though the Knight of Pentacles represents no movement, but really he represents being too cautious. So he represents needing to take action And so I feel like you need to take action on something. And I have a feeling we'll be able to clarify when we do the clarification here in just a minute, like what action you need to take. You have the Knight of Wands as your outcome. Literally, I mean, this is really why I'm not really worried about that Knight of Pentacles. Again, Knight of Wands is action. It is making a move. It is doing something to, move forward. The Knight of Wands, he really follows his desire. He desires to do something and he does it. It's just that simple. He doesn't really care how he gets there. This energy's been coming up a lot. Again, we're kind of like in between eclipse seasons right now. The next eclipse season is going to start in April of 2023. And I literally said during this set that the Knight of Wands kept coming up. And I kept telling people, like, we need to be super flexible in how we accomplish things. That's what I feel like the Knight of Wands was talking about during those eclipse readings that I did. And so it's like you need to have a goal, something that you want to accomplish, but how you get there, I think doesn't matter. I would just be as flexible as possible. The deck was upside down, so hold on one second, and let's do it this way. With the Ace of Swords and the World, you have the Six of Cups. Again, I feel like something from the past is probably dead, done, over with a person. For some of you, like, again, I don't really do drama tarot, and again, I don't think, it's like how many of us really have like a super dramatic situation going on? Probably not everybody, right? So for some of you, I do feel a truth was exposed. For some of you, maybe this was your truth. Maybe you just don't want to be with a person anymore, right? That happens. So I feel like for some of you, truth was exposed about the past. And I feel like you're more focused on the future. The other thing I really like about this is Ace of Swords. Normally the sword is above the mountains, which represents overcoming obstacles. It pretty much says that we will always have obstacles in life. That's part of life. And but we will always be able to overcome those obstacles. You have the World, which is like completion and overcoming something. And then Six of Cups to me can represent like a turnaround energy. I'm pretty sure in your last reading I said something to you about a breakthrough. And I kind of get that energy here where maybe you've been bumping up against an obstacle in any area of your life. And it's like you're overcoming it now. With the Three of Wands in your thoughts, you have the Three of Swords. Again, I would be careful if you are going through a heartbreak of allowing the heartbreak to control you for too long. Like if you're watching too much tarot, I would like start limiting the amount of tarot that you watch, right? I've heard from too many people that it's easy to get stuck, watching tarot for, answers about whatever you're going on. I totally understand doing it, but at the same time, I would like start limiting it so you don't like drive yourself crazy, especially with this Three of Swords energy. With the Knight of Swords, you have the Nine of Pentacles. So the Nine of Pentacles is a card of gratitude and luxuries. It's also a card of your environment as well. The Knight of Swords could represent movement. You have three knights here. I kind of feel like some of you are focused on changing your environment, like the things that exist around you, people, places, and things, all of it, everything. And you are definitely, I remember earlier this year, I kept getting the Nine of Pentacles, and you are definitely one of the signs. You are the reason. It was like you and Libra or something were like the two signs that kept getting this card. You are the reason I did those environment readings. And what I would say is I feel like your environment is super important for you. It's going to be like really important that you kind of clean up your environment. There's like a million things you can do with this, right? I always tell people it's like if you want love, for example, clean your room. And it's like, why? Or clean your apartment. Why? Because you're not going to invite someone over to a messy house. Again, I think people don't realize how seemingly disconnected things control other stuff in our life, right? So it's like, you have to create the environment of something that you want before you can have it, is the way that I see it. So, there's a million, like I said, without knowing your exact situation, I can't tell you necessarily what to do. You're going to have to put your thinking cap on. But, if there's something you can do to create the environment for something to exist in, that's what I'd be doing with that Nine of Pentacles. With the Two of Cups, you have the Eight of Wands. Quick success. I do feel some of you are hoping for communication here with this person from the past. So you could be hoping that someone reaches out. I think there was a very strong connection. I just asked him, are you going to get communication? I would say no. I mean, you have the Eight of Swords here. Eight of Swords says, do not stay stuck in this past situation. Again, not telling you what to do. I don't care what you do, but, I kind of feel this is a dead, done, over with situation here. And yeah, that's what I'm getting. With the Six of Swords, you have the World again. See, it's like you have the whole world in your hands. It's almost giving me like Two of Wands vibes. And on the Two of Wands, the guy's standing where he has always been, like in the past, but he has a whole world in his hands. You have that Six of Swords. Moving on. So I really feel you are kind of entering into a new world, and it could be a world that has much more abundance, much more opportunity. I don't know. We're going to see with the rest of this reading what's available in this new world. But look, it's like a seed. It's an acorn. I really like this card in this deck. This is the White Sage Tarot. And I kind of like this deck, kind of don't. But what I would say is I definitely resonate with the symbolism of the acorn on the world card. I love that. I actually want to pull another card for that, and you have the Chariot. So again, some of you definitely could be moving or traveling. This is your card, Cancer. Puts you in a position of power and strength in the near future. But it could also be you moving, or it could be you changing your environment in some way, like I said. With the Four of Swords, you have the Five of Swords. Again, some of you are healing from a breakup or separation. I mean, clearly, obviously, we've been talking about it this entire time, so that makes sense. I would also, again, I am not a doctor, so do not take this as medical advice. But I would just do everything you can to stay healthy. You have the Three of Swords and the Five of Swords, and you have the Four of Swords here, which is like recovering. So I would make sure of that. We do have Mars retrograde until January, and then technically, we're in the shadow till like March. So I always tell people during Mars retrograde, I wouldn't do anything crazy. Like if you're exercising and all that other stuff, I wouldn't go crazy in the first place. And I'm not saying don't exercise. I'm just saying don't go crazy. And I would also say I would be very careful, like if you get injured or something, like make sure to heal, right? Make sure to take the time to heal. Don't like force yourself into things. That's when we make things worse with Mars retrograde. With the Ten of Swords, you have the Page of Wands. It's kind of interesting because I feel like some of you are going on like a, it's like you're going on a vision quest is how I see this for some reason. I feel like some of you are kind of going on like a journey, but it's more of a spiritual journey, if that makes sense, with the Ten of Swords. So some of you could be doing something like that. I also do feel that this could be talking about having fun and needing to have fun with that Ten of Swords, because like Ten of Swords is just feeling stabbed in the back, which definitely some of you could be going through that. But for the most part, I feel like this is more talking about like needing to go out and have fun. I also feel you could be meeting a person who's like very fun. I feel like this person kind of like brings you out of your shell as well. With the Knight of Pentacles for your future feelings, you have the Queen of Wands. You have a lot of these Wands cards here. You could be attracting a very fiery person. I also feel like you could be attracting a very spontaneous person as well. It's kind of interesting because if you're attracting love, I feel you could be attracting a person where I'm not sure that this goes the distance yet. It's like right now I feel like some of you, even when you meet this person, because I feel you could be meeting a new person, it's like you're just kind of like not sure where it's going. You're not sure, and not in a bad way. I feel like you're along for the ride, right? You want to see where things go, but I feel like you're also like, what's it going to be like with this person? I don't know. I feel like there's enough attraction there to hold it together for now. Let's put it that way. I just feel this person lives life very differently. I feel like they're very spontaneous. And I also feel like they maybe will do things to try to break you outside of your comfort zone. So who knows? With the Knight of Pentacles and the Queen of Wands as well, if you have any ideas at all that you desire to work on, if there's something that feels like a little bit of a risk, and guess what? Look at that time. Look at this time right here, 11:11. So there's your confirmation, Cancer. If there's something you want to do, build, or create, I feel like now is the time. Queen of Wands, again, Knight of Wands as well. They just desire to do something, and it brings them joy, and that's why they do it, plain and simple. And I think a lot of people have been getting this energy recently. I think we're in a time where, really we have to kind of do things that we desire to do, not necessarily, and they might be things that don't make sense to other people that we're doing with our life. But guess what? It's your life, as I always say. With the Knight of Wands, you have the Ace of Swords. Definitely a victory coming in for you. Ace of Swords twice. That's amazing. I also feel you could be attracting a person who practices like radical honesty. Like maybe they are ridiculously, painfully honest, right? And but I feel this will probably be a good thing for you. So I would take it, is what I'd say to you, Cancer. I'm going to pull 5 main themes now here, Cancer, and you cannot make this up. You have this card that says V for victory. It's victory in some endeavor. So there is clearly a victory coming in for you. You have 3 cards of victory, Ace of Swords twice, plus the Chariot, your card. So I feel like you could be experiencing a major victory. I almost feel like you're creating this victory, though. And again, I feel like you could be creating it with your environment. So, I would make sure that your environment matches what you want, if that makes sense. You have this yoke card. It says feeling tied down and frustrated, Knight of Pentacles. Not sure how to create that stability. I felt that on the Knight of Pentacles. We basically talked about it. I think there is really no good answer for the Knight of Pentacles. other than to take the first step, other than to say like, okay, I want to create this business, I want to go get this new career. Like, what's the smallest step I can possibly take? It's funny. I told someone a couple weeks ago about this book called Skip the Line by James Altucher. And, in that book, he basically talks about taking things and breaking them down to their smallest parts. It's like one of bit of advice that he gives in that book. And, that's pretty much, I would read that book if you're looking for advice. You have this rabbit card. It says, too much concern with sexual matters. Definitely a past person could have been like this. I do feel like some of you are dealing with a person who just was controlled by themselves. I feel like, this stepping stone soulmate could have been their own worst enemy. And, I feel like you're just moving past it. Next, you have this cobweb. It says, protected from negative forces beyond your control. It is so weird that there's so much of this protection stuff that's been coming up for pretty much everyone as a collective energy. And again, I wonder if it's because I think people could be worried about what's going on in the world and, all this other stuff. So, I don't know. Every single reading I've done, there's been a correct collective protection type energy. And I'm not even talking about just these readings, all the readings that I've been doing for the past months. Next, you have this October card. It's a monthly card, and you also have this feather card. It says, someone you know is undependable and insincere. So this person that you've dealt with, maybe you went through a breakup back in October. This card says October on it. Yes, I understand that we are in December. This card says October on it. For the people in the back. Also, what I would say is I feel like maybe you've been dealing with something since the October timeframe. Can we get another card here? You have this pale card. It says time to get out of a situation. I feel like you need to get out of this, if you've been going through this round around situation with a person. Yep, I wanted to see what that card was. It says love on it. So could be a love situation. I feel like you're going towards something new. And again, I want to say this here as well, Cancer. This person, this new person, there could be a new person. I feel like they bring you outside your comfort zone. And, I would just look at that. I'm not telling you what to do. I don't think tarot should tell you what to do. But if you're looking for love and a new person approaches you, I feel like they make you feel uncomfortable, but not in a bad way. I know that sounds bad, but I think they, break you out of your shell. Maybe they want to be adventurous or they want to do exciting things or fun things. I think this person could totally change your life, but it's like you're going to have to be comfortable being uncomfortable. And it could have to do with a change in your environment as well. Same thing in work or business. It would take it how it resonates. I feel like this is a situation that maybe feels a little bit uncomfortable, but I think it's just the situation you need to change your life.